Hello, everyone. Welcome to the PIPCAST 3000, a bi-weekly podcast every other Sunday, 10 a.m. Pacific, that goes over something Bethesda adjacent. Could be Fallout, could be Elder Scrolls, could be something in that genre of open-worldy RPG-ness. I'm Caedo Genesis, and joined by my co-host, Bad Company Sarge.
Hello there.
And it's 2025. We've made it to another year. Sarge, if you were to guess, without looking, how long we've been doing this podcast as of, I think it's February, late February of next year.
What? As of late February next year,
Next
you want
month.
me to guess
Sorry,
how long we've been...
as of late February this year. Sorry.
I mean, I'm good with numbers. I mean, I'm going to have to go with that'll be the 3-year anniversary, because we're on, like, episode 148, 149, something like that, and obviously there's 52 weeks in a year. No, wait, but then you'd halve it, so it'd be 26... Wait, God, no, that's longer, isn't it? So it's double it, so it'll be the 6-year anniversary.
You're correct.
There we go.
Yeah. I'll probably bring it up again. Yeah. I mean, I screwed it up too, so it's fine.
Yeah, we're off to a great start.
Yeah. My New Year's resolution is to get more numbers wrong.
Woo!
I've done it.
Welcome to 2074, everyone.
Something that I found interesting, perusing previous older episodes, was... we had some like topic ideas and suggestions that we kind of never got to, that were actually kind of good. So
what?
yeah, I know, I know,
don't
right?
Buy it.
So
you're lying, Caedo. You're lying.
Okay, well, we'll see when we get to the actual topic, won't we? But what I was thinking of when I was listening back from episode 22, and the name of that episode was Fallout's Best Vaults and Fallout First, where we complained about Fallout First. Back that far. The suggestion for a topic was what makes Fallout Fallout, and I think that is a fun thing to talk about, especially when the series is so varied now, and it's had a lot of time to grow and get its tribes or fans, tribes of fans.
Yeah.
So I'm sure a lot of people had different takes too. So I thought it would be an interesting little thing to go over. And also I had a rant ready and then I lost it. So I guess we'll get into the normal things we usually do.
Okay. I was eagerly anticipating the rant, but I guess everything's fine now.
I may remember again, like midway through something you're saying and then interrupt you aggressively. I don't know.
Okay.
So prepare for
Fair
that,
enough.
I suppose.
Yep. Before we get into that, a big thank you to the Wasteland Legends, Sven and Rose as always.
Yes.
Helping do the Patreon thing and supporting channels, and good on ya.
If you're like a Wasteland legend, like these two that we just mentioned, you'll get verbal credit, which is, you know, a little special. I gotta say Sven and Rose too, I suppose. That's because we're both here.
Oh, does it not count if only I say it?
I don't know. I don't know.
Part of a contract.
Maybe we should ask for their preferences, even if they're even like here and listening. But yeah, thank you to the supporters of this channel and the main one. Appreciate it. So now on to the comments of the cast. We have one from both YouTube and Spotify. Yes, we're on Spotify, in case you were wondering. You can just look up PIPCAST 3000 and you should be able to find it by now. I think I have enough episodes up for the algorithm to be like, oh, you mean this one? Because there is another PIPCAST. It's definitely not this, though.
No.
And then it's like, did you mean PITCAST? No, our topic is not armpits. It could be. There is a character named Armpit that dies very quickly in Fallout Brotherhood of Steel.
Oh, I mean, that'll be for when we've got a really big news day and we need like a 5-minute topic.
But yeah, anyway, my energy level is high apparently. Let's go over. I'll do the YouTube comment, then you can get the Spotify one because it's directed at you again.
Okay.
So from YouTube, Angel Messenger 8240 says, "Greetings and well wishes for the new year for you both. Thank you very much, Angel Messenger. That's a
Happy
kind
New Year to everyone else too.
Yeah, and likewise, everyone. Hope your 2025 is good and safe and nice. I think that's it. And Angel Messenger, that's a wonderful message to receive from an angel. Thank you. So
Yep, and Kellen Stone over on Spotify says, have you ever considered a Fallout/Elder Scrolls game tier list episode? P.S. I forgive you, Sarge.
we had a whole arc.
And yeah. I would actually really enjoy doing a Fallout/Elder Scrolls game tier list episode. And by that, I don't mean a Fallout game tier list episode or an Elder Scrolls game tier list episode. I mean a Fallout/Elder Scrolls game tier list episode.
No.
Yeah, where we're pitting them against each other as well.
Oh, no.
That'll make people angry. Let's do it, Caedo. Let's do it.
We could do it. I'm down. I'm down with that. But there's certain ones that like I know you haven't like I can only go back as far as Morrowind.
Yeah. I think to be like entirely fair, I can make the tier list and I'll put in a category that just says we haven't played it.
That would probably be good.
I don't think we need to have like beat the games or anything. Like I can talk about Morrowind despite not having made it very far because I still have played it and interact with it and I know a bit about it. But yeah, when we get onto like Daggerfall,
nope.
Like I got some knowledge, but
you might have more than me. Actually,
third hand. Yeah, I know a lot about the map. People really like talking about Daggerfall's map. It big.
Yeah.
It too big. It Starfield looks small big apparently.
Yeah. 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 I don't have a point of reference. That's the main thing I hear too. So. Yeah. Let's do it.
It does mean I'm gonna have to search what all the different Fallout and Elder Scrolls games are. Because I think there's about 10 Fallout games. There's like 20 different Elder Scrolls games at this point.
Including
there's
like
so many
the
spin-offs and stuff. Yeah.
Because now it's got Elder Scrolls Castles.
Yeah,
like,
Castles, Blades, Legends.
Can you put an I don't want to play it category in too? I haven't or don't want to.
I can do that. That might be something for me to do tomorrow. A little extra task to get on with.
Or you shouldn't play it. It's just Fallout Brotherhood of Steel's in that one. No, don't want to put in too many categories. That'll get confusing. Anyway, I did want to make a small mention here before we get into the small amount of news that we have before the topic. The LA fires are pretty gnarly and not in the good way. They are affecting a lot of people. A lot of folks are losing their homes. A lot of apparently historical places are burning to the ground too. Like it's crazy. So if you want to offer support however you can, and you're able to do that, please do. I'll have a few things linked below, and I might try to do like a fundraiser-y thing alongside the video, like some videos on YouTube do. But I don't know if this channel has access to that yet. So if not, the links will be there at least. So I just wanted to bring that up. If you are in California and currently dealing with this stuff, be safe, and I hope for the best for you. Hang in there. So aside from that, what was the one gaming news thing that we had, Sarge?
The one bit of gaming news I was able to find is that the Xbox Developer Direct is returning on the 23rd of January, so it's not even something that's happened yet.
Yeah.
It's something we're going to talk about next time. Can you tell there's been no proper gaming news?
Yeah.
That's all we've got. We do know a bit of what's happening with it. First of all, it is taking place on Thursday, January 23rd at 10 AM Pacific, 1 PM Eastern, and 6 PM UK time. Hopefully that gives everyone a good idea. And it's going to show off some highly anticipated games. We are definitely learning about South of Midnight, Doom the Dark Ages, and Claire Obscure Expedition 33, which I've not heard about before, but is apparently an RPG.
Yes. And
So
it looks
that's
very
good.
cool.
Yeah, I don't know how I've never heard about this.
It's probably because you don't watch gaming shows.
Possibly, but I feel like I should have got adverts for it, or it had shown up. Like, I know about so many games. Like, I've watched hours of Infinity Nikki just through, like, TikTok. But this is my first time hearing about it at all.
I think it's, I mean, Infinity Nikki seemed to be pretty memeable, whereas Claire Obscure Expedition 33, it's got some behind the scenes context that you can't fit into a meme. That I feel like is a disservice to it, because
I mean, I have also seen some real deep dive lore videos on Infinity Nikki, but that's because of I have watched a bunch of stuff.
Yeah. Also, yeah, South of Midnight has the aesthetic going for it, which is why we probably heard about that one a lot more. And Doom the Dark, it's freaking Doom. Like,
it is Doom.
You can't not hear about Doom. You have to, even if you actively try, somebody is gonna bring it up.
Like, I never made it very far through Doom Eternal. I'm pretty sure I beat Doom 2016, but I definitely played a lot of it. But even though I don't really have much of a plan to play Doom the Dark Ages, I'm still, like, most looking forward to that trailer. Because it's just fun to watch Doom Guy beat up demons and smash stuff.
Yeah, I agree. I didn't even play Doom Eternal. I was put off by people saying how hard it was and how twitchy it is, and I'm like, I'm good.
I remember enjoying the bit of combat I did, but there was a bunch of platforming stuff where it's just like, okay, now I've got to jump this way, and I was off, I've fallen down, I've got to do it again, and I'm not a fan of platforming in that way, where you have to just keep going until you get it right, and not for me.
Gotcha. Looking forward to hearing more about each of these games. Claire Obscure is about let's see, it's a expedition of progressively younger individuals that are sent out to do missions, I suppose. I guess that's the easiest way to explain it, but each year the age goes lower, and they don't know who exactly is directing this expedition, but as the age goes lower, that's the life expectancy too for everyone.
Okay.
So if I've explained that in a way that kind of makes it intriguing, and of course it's got a really, really cool like combat aesthetic.
Yeah, I'm searching up about it now. Apparently Andy Serkis is starring in it as one of the characters, one of the voices, probably some mocap, I assume.
That sounds pretty sick.
Says it takes a lot of inspiration from stuff like Final Fantasy and Persona. I mean, in a couple of screenshots, there's very Persona vibes I got from the UI. Like, it's based on the, I'm going to mispronounce it, Belle Epoque setting, which is like a Franco-Prussian or post-pre? One sec. It is post-Franco-Prussian War. There we go. Turn of the 20th century.
Okay.
European history. Woo, woo, woo. It's going to be dark and depressing. It's European history.
Yay!
It's always dark and depressing.
Oh, man.
So, yeah.
That's right up our alley, then.
Yeah. There is no European history stories which are bright sunshine and happy times. It's all bad. It's great studying any European history. You always know the outcome.
Yep.
Everything sucked.
Oh, man.
Everyone died.
You know what's just as fun to explore as European history's dark themes? Fallout.
Another thing with dark themes. Yeah, it's got dark themes. And kind of puts a smile over a lot of it, though.
Yes. It
Make
has
it a bit more palatable.
gallows humor along with it. And just wacky zaniness, depending on which game.
Woohoo.
Yeah.
Yeah, Caedo. So Caedo, please answer. What does make Fallout Fallout?
Oh, the green filter, obviously.
Of course.
Yeah.
Fallout 3 is the only Fallout.
Yeah.
I forget this sometimes.
It's the only real Fallout game for real Fallout fans, obviously.
Yep.
And,
well,
and as everybody is clicking off the show, this is the joke answer section. We have more to talk about, obviously.
You have made a joke answer, but I do want to tie in there that Fallout 3 has the best wasteland of any of the games, in my opinion. And I think the wasteland is like a big part of what makes Fallout Fallout. It's not unique, because there's definitely other stuff which does it. I've forgotten the name. There's an anime which had like very Fallout aesthetics because of a wasteland vibe, but I've forgotten it now. But yeah, that wasteland and the setting in general is a huge component in making Fallout what it is. It's not a series where you can move around to somewhere that doesn't have the same sort of feeling. Like, we have had, to be fair, Fallout London, because I was going to say you can't move to other places, but Fallout London as the mod still kind of worked as Fallout because it's still, like, this whole ruined area that's been devastated by nuclear war, but is then sometime later, so it's explorable.
Mm-hmm.
But you couldn't have... I personally don't think you could really make a Fallout game that took place entirely pre-war. That just wouldn't work as a Fallout game, in my opinion.
Correct. To a degree, there could be a spin-off if it kept the retro future aesthetic.
I don't think you could do like a full RPG style spin-off, but something that's like a almost a teaser project for upcoming Fallout stuff, like how Fallout Shelter was partially made to help promote Fallout 4. It was like, hey, we're working on Fallout 4, and also here's another Fallout that you can have.
That's what I was thinking too, actually.
Yeah. Although I think you need to go like even smaller than that. Like, I think Fallout Shelter it's not as big as the mainline Fallout games, obviously, but it's got enough stuff going on, but it needs kind of the content of the Wasteland. I feel like games like Papers, Please, that sort of much smaller, much more controlled environment, where you're just doing like one basic thing, I think that could work in a pre-war setting.
Yeah. Or even like, I don't know, I'm thinking like in universe, it could be part of a greater simulation where you're like Dr. Braun's kind of weird experiments stuff.
Yeah.
Where it can be like a bunch of different simulations, but one of which could be like Tranquility Lane.
Yeah.
Or like another one, like a variety show kind of format, I suppose. Which is unfortunately kind of a dead format. I don't like saying that unless I'm wrong here, because YouTube exists now. So, and you get all the variety you want on YouTube, and yeah, video streaming.
Well, I mean, I've been watching a variety show. Variety shows can be fun.
Yeah.
They're just not a game thing, or not something I associate with games. Were there gaming variety shows? Was this a thing? Was this one of these before my time sort of things that you old folks know about?
I mean, I guess X-Play counted. They tried rebooting it on the G4 channel and it imploded, so, you know.
Yeah, this very much sounds like back in my day, the age of the Caedos and stuff.
The age of the elder millennials, Sarge? Are we going to get into this again?
Yep. It's going to be every single episode because I keep getting older, but I want to pretend that I'm staying
Baby
young.
Sarge!
It's just going to get more and more of it.
But yeah, so back to the actual topic instead of how much we're aging and rocketing towards our demise. One of the things that I thought when I brought up the retro future aesthetic is that's largely been consistent throughout the games too, is the aesthetics, the look of, say, the Corvegas, or the usage of like Art Deco-y kind of stuff, like you see the big faces alongside the crumbling skyscrapers in the DC wastes. You got like oh, what are they called? What are the light bulbs called? Oh my god. Oh,
fluorescent? No, not. Are you talking about like vacuum tubes? Is that where you're going?
Vacuum tubes? Yeah, I think so. I think that's what I'm getting at here. That are used a lot, liberally, throughout different designs on Fallout stuff. And also the industrialization direction that things took in this like retro future historical branch off kind of thing. The pre-war life of excess and kind of things. I don't know. That and then blowing it up, and then having that be like remnants of like another world we also didn't really get to experience is also that much more intriguing, because you do get to learn more through like holotapes and stuff like that. And even our lovingly crafted adaptation to Fallout show did go over more of that in the pre-war segments of that show, going over the ghouls kind of backstory kind of thing, which is awesome.
I will say, on a related note, I definitely think Fallout benefits a lot from the fact that the past we're exploring is not the same as our past. We have the split off, and almost everything you're uncovering is from a different reality to our own. We sometimes get nods to other historical events, like the Declaration of Independence and Fallout 3 and stuff like that, but for the most part they do focus in on where the timelines have split. And I think that does make it more interesting, because then you're not just learning about boring Earth history, you're learning about different Earth history, which is just more exciting by default, unfortunately.
Alternate history is more exciting by default. Have you played the Wolfenstein games? Oh, it is so much more exciting. And
that was
gory.
Not the series I first went to in my brain.
Nuclear bombs, nuclear future kind of stuff is a big component, obviously. Nuclear fusion is, I would venture to say, essential to Fallout's very vibe, because it's a catch-all for power sources that can be held in your hand and not melted off at the same time, and gives reason to or I don't know, gamifies in Fallout 4's case the means of keeping power armor active, which is helpful.
I think when you're talking about gamification as well, one thing that is interesting is that Fallout hasn't really stayed consistent with how the game plays and like how difficult it is, or there's not really much of a gameplay through line throughout the franchise. Obviously this largely comes from it starting out isometric with the originals and now being the first/third person. But even beyond that, I've been playing From Software games lately, which I'll talk about later, and they've got a reputation for all of the Soulsborne style stuff, that's going to be kind of difficult. It's about dodging or blocking and timing, and you get a vibe for it, even if the world's completely different and everything else has changed. You still have that core kind of feeling to it, and it's always going to be difficult and so on. But Fallout doesn't really have that. It never feels required for the game to be hard. I mean, the modern games typically have the difficulty settings, so you can adjust it to your own way. And even when you're playing, it's not like you're always going to play in the exact same way. It really does kind of lend itself to being approached in a variety of different manners and development styles. Yeah,
I think so too. When you're talking about like systems that are not consistent, is there a way you can be more specific?
Yeah. So things like, first off, leveling up. I want to cover that because that always goes in my brain within Fallout. Not only do we have the difference between like when you get perks, either every level, every second level, every third level, so on and so forth, but with stuff like skills being introduced and then removed and then reintroduced in different ways, and the different ways that perks and so on can work, you still have the basic RPG framework for the most part. Although, not even when you get to the spin-off stuff. Like Fallout Shelter, there's not leveling up in the same way. And that still feels kind of like a Fallout game because of the aesthetic.
Yeah. Which is why I started with that.
Yeah.
Because I was going to get into the Vault Boy as the mascot, because he's always there.
Yeah. No, it's very much a case of they don't have to be confined or locked down to this certain thing. You could make a Fallout game. I believe you could even make a Fallout RPG where you don't level up. Like, that could be a thing. Like they're not locked in so much. We do see. No, I've lost my point there.
Okay.
Sorry.
No, that's fine. This is a very broad one. The more we're talking about it, I'm realizing. The special attributes have also been largely in most of the games too. Whether they've
Which games are they not in?
I don't think special is in Brotherhood of Steel at all. I think it's more just like pick a character and then pick perks when you have enough points from leveling up. It's got a weird like point distribution for perks system.
Yeah.
It's a amalgamation of the perk chart done worse. That's what I want to call it, because everything in Brotherhood of Steel is worse.
I mean, that's a real shame that they got rid of the special stats for Brotherhood of Steel as well, because I feel like they do appear in literally everything else, and it is a very Fallout thing. Well, it's obviously it came about as like an evolution of GURPS, didn't it, originally?
Yes. Yeah. They couldn't quite get the rights for GURPS, so they ended up making their own system inspired by it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So that's always quite a cool thing.
Mm-hmm.
And besides the best Fallout game, it's something they have stuck with, and I think does lend itself very well. As I've mentioned a few times on previous episodes, I've been working on like a TTRPG and stuff, and as I've started like designing spin-offs, because my brain is wild, cannot focus on one thing, I've been consistent throughout like certain skills and stuff. I'm like, every single TTRPG I'm gonna make should have luck as a stat, because that's just very good as a get out of jail free card. Like, I don't know what else this is gonna be, make it a luck roll. And I think the special system works very well throughout Fallout, because it can always apply in some way. Like, Fallout Shelter is our best example of a Fallout game that doesn't play like other Fallout games, and even in that, they made it so the different special stats had their uses.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Some, depending on the game too, some are more useful than others, but they are still there.
Yeah.
Which is the important part. Is
I mean, we've ragged on... I've specifically ragged on charisma a lot.
Oh, yeah.
But it still does have its purpose. It just still sucks.
Yeah. In most of the games. In 76, it's pretty good.
It's okay.
Yeah. And with the recent patch of them kind of moving things around too, it did help. I think.
That's true.
Made endurance definitely better in 76.
Woo.
Yeah. So we got special. We got the wasteland, the green filter as my joke, but the general, especially in the first person games, the atmosphere is a big part of like creating an atmosphere for the feeling of either dread or powerlessness or some kind of struggle against both like the wasteland itself and the people who inhabit it, or the monsters that inhabit it.
Oh man, one thing I love about Fallout, which I think a lot of other RPGs either can't get away with or just don't know quite how to tackle, is like emptiness.
Mm-hmm.
Like in Fallout, the world being kind of empty can almost always work. I think 76 was the only example where people found they took it too far. Because before NPCs were added, people were just like, there's nothing, why are there no people?
And that was still a bit of a point of argument for me, even now, kind of, because like I was the one actually digging for like the remnants of the responders and stuff like that, because I found that extremely interesting when you discover like what wiped all these people out, and then thematically it made sense, just like when adding the NPCs, and they made it also make more sense, which was great because time passed.
You know what, I can go on a little rant here as well.
Do it.
Because I know a lot of people are always like, oh, Bethesda, they dumb things down, they're just appealing to everyone, making things more broad. Then they do this, like, no NPC thing, and it's like, we don't like this. This isn't appealing to everyone. Why have you gone down this different route? Yeah, take that. Whoever.
Take that, Fallout fans, every single one who has the exact same opinion of everyone else all the time.
Yeah.
Points at self.
Yeah.
Yeah. So one of the when we're talking about aesthetics, there's also the thought of like what it is built in the world, what we expect to be kind of baked in to Fallout. Like if Fallout 5 were to come out this year, what would we kind of expect from a Fallout 5 based on the previous games that are actually good?
So it's going to be isometric because that was the last good game.
Yep, it's going to be.
Agree, right?
Yep, it's going to be isometric. So it's going to be like Wasteland 3, but Fallout. I would play the hell out of it if that were the case. By the way, but like I don't think that's what it's going to be.
No, it's been talked about so much how the more modern games in the 3D open world are just much more popular.
Oh, by far,
just the way it goes,
and more approachable too. Like like imagining like a lot of people getting drawn in by the Fallout show, pointing to Fallout 4, because Fallout 4 was a huge point of inspiration for the show itself, and the easiest to pick up and play for people. Like I would imagine Fallout 4 was the first like gateway drug for the series, and then people get to experiment a little bit after that point if they're still interested, which I think is cool.
Yeah, and I think on that note, if we do see a Fallout 5, it's not going to happen this year. I don't know why you'd say that and get our hopes up, Caedo. It's very mean of you. But when we do see a Fallout 5, I think it will very much kind of look and feel like a sequel to Fallout 4. I think that just makes sense that it would be most similar to that game.
Yeah. So, who is going to make a return, do you think? If we're following the aesthetic rules.
I mean, this is one of the things I like about Fallout, is that you don't need any specific characters we've seen in previous games to return. That's never really a requirement. We're not following people, which is pretty cool. It's not like, oh, Fallout 5 is going to be the story of Preston Garvey or his kid Alistair, which is what I wrote when I wrote a Fallout 5. But we don't have to follow specific characters. We are exploring a world, and more than anything, it's exploring a new location. Because the location is almost a bigger character in the Fallout games than any of the NPCs we encounter.
You may have a point. I was more thinking of because the topic itself is already broad, more thinking of like maybe what factions would return, maybe what creatures we could see again, or new ones,
that is something which is much more consistent,
or themes too, because our theme for 4 was like what it means to be a person, or what qualifies you as a person, kind of thing. Whereas Fallout 3's was sacrifice, which fell flat in the vanilla game.
Yeah.
We all know.
I'll be honest, I'm not sure any of the games other than Fallout 4 really kind of nailed the theme in an obvious way.
Yeah.
Like, I guess New Vegas is about revenge, but I'm not even certain of that as I say it.
New Vegas has a lot of themes. I think that's both its strength and its weakness, is because there were a lot of themes explored in each of the DLCs as well.
Yeah. I mean, the most obvious one there is dead money letting go.
Yeah. And Honest Hearts is more about, vengeance or something along it, or like poisoning the innocent kind of thing.
Yeah.
That kind of thing. Old World Blues is the difficulty of or being stuck in a loop, or spinning your wheels kind of thing. Like they've all had kind of their own thing going on.
Yeah.
But
I think the DLCs, due to their small nature, were much better at just focusing on a theme.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, where the theme of the main game. Now hear me out. The theme of the main game was what it means to gamble all your money in every casino to the point of getting kicked out and then crawling to Mr. House because you're out of money. And he asks you to pick up the platinum chip, which is worth all the monies.
I mean, it's not worth all the monies. The actual value of the chip is disappointingly low.
Mr. House lied to me.
It's something I always notice whenever I pick it up. I'm going to Google it real quickly. In my brain, it's like, oh, it's worth like 1,000 or something, but I feel like it's even smaller than that.
But if this were D&D, one platinum is worth a lot of gold.
Yeah. I mean, it would make sense. It's... Okay, take a guess right now what the value of the platinum chip is in-game.
It's like 50 caps.
Caedo, you somehow have overshot it by so much.
Oh, no.
It has a value of 3 caps.
3 caps!
Yeah, although apparently it cost House 812,545 caps to scavenge the wasteland to find it.
Oh, wait, no, I was wrong. It's about exploring your sexuality with a robot and a ghoul cowgirl.
That makes more sense.
Yeah, I think that's the theme of the vanilla game of New Vegas, and I will not hear otherwise.
Okay, I think what we've established from this is that Fallout doesn't actually have a consistent theme. It's more about exploring different ones.
Yeah, which is cool. I do like. Yeah. I do like that about the Fallout series as a whole.
Yeah. It would get repetitive if we were exploring. Like, if every single game was Fallout 4 and it's like, what does it mean to be human? Like, that's even a really good theme where you can go in a lot of ways. But now that we've had, like, 12 different games at this point, if each of them was focused on that, it'd be like, yeah, we get what human is and what humanity is and blah-de-blah-de-blah. Don't care anymore.
Now, what if you lock 50 vault dwellers into a vault and then unleash a Deathclaw? Just one.
Yep. And
that's
that
Fallout Shelter.
Benefits the company some way. Because Vault Tech. I really hope that we get some satisfying answers around Vault Tech. Because while they do the experiments and stuff, and they are kind of cool and fun, especially to explore in-game, I feel like we're going to need some explanation at some point as to why there's so many wild vaults. Because it goes beyond just being like, oh, we'll do some scientific experimentations once we've got the population all locked up. It's like, yeah, that figures for some of them. But when we're up to like 50 vaults now, where it's like, what happens if we do something that's obviously going to get everyone killed? I wonder what the result would be then. Well, we need something extra, I think.
Yeah, I mean, it's the weird comical nature of some of them is still kind of an inherent need for the series, I think. So I think at least a couple, like
I still
silly
want
ones.
vaults.
Yeah, okay. You just want more explanation.
I just want a good explanation for why stuff like that happens so often.
Maybe we're just explanation hungry because of Fallout 4.
Elaborate.
The Institute.
And you mean how they didn't make sense?
Yeah, how they didn't explain a lot of things that they do.
Okay.
And why?
Yeah. Yeah. Does yeah.
This could turn into just a complaint rant about
which is
the Institute.
Which is why I'm not elaborating on myself.
Okay.
Instead, I will talk about like the factions and stuff you brought up earlier, because I don't think the Institute's going to come back. I feel like they're technically not a one and done, but a two and done faction.
Yeah, because they were.
But obviously the
introduced in 3.
But obviously we do have factions which I believe will return. The obvious one is the Brotherhood of Steel.
Yep.
Because they're always around.
That they are.
Like, yeah, I think they're the only faction we can and will consistently have in every Fallout game. Although I am concerned that the Enclave is going to make a comeback, just because people online who like the Enclave really like the Enclave.
It's an aesthetic that's hard to get away from. And we haven't had a strong enough. Like, what would you consider the aesthetic of the Institute and the Would you consider the Institute and the Minuteman having a strong aesthetic versus like the Enclave and the Brotherhood? Like there's no real comparison, because obviously the Enclave and the Brotherhood are going to be the choice.
Honestly, I feel like the Enclave's aesthetic has lost a little bit, especially with like their Hellfire power armor and its variants being kind of thrown all over the place as a way to bring them back without bringing them back. And the Institute does have like the very clean white robes, and all the simps are covered in white. Like, white is the Institute's colour. And it's all like this cleanly and pure looking aesthetic, but it is hidden within the game.
Yeah, I mean, the armor is also hideous though. Like,
it is hideous, yeah.
Nobody
It's so bad. Institute equipment sucks, which is something I've complained about multiple times.
The armor and the weapons are hideous. I'm gonna put that out there too. And the Minutemen, like, they just have that Minuteman aesthetic. They have a flag that's kind of okay looking, and also, I don't know, artillery.
The Minuteman
tricorn
aesthetic
hats.
is the laser musket.
Oh, laser musket.
The laser
Sorry,
musket
yes.
is the thing that stands out for them.
Yes.
While they do technically have like a Minuteman outfit and stuff, and there is the tricorn hat, and they do draw on historical influences, and that helps influence their overall aesthetic. Yeah, they don't have a strong one overall, partially because it's supposed to be made up of just general people from around the Commonwealth, so you get a bit of variety there. Like, the laser musket is the thing that really ties them together and is unique to their faction, which is part of the reason I made my the wonderful world of faction weapons, or whatever I called it, video, because the laser musket is a really cool faction weapon, and it helps define an otherwise just kind of ragtag faction which has nothing to kind of visually tie it together.
Yeah. What do you think of the expansion factions making an appearance?
Like, what ones are they?
Like the Children of Adam, or Dima's Synths, or the Nuka World Raiders. Oh, hey.
I mean,
just pie in the sky right here. Since Nate and Nora are established canon characters, what if one of them was in Fallout 5?
No.
And
no.
And represented the Nuka World Raiders because they lost their mind after they lost their kid and their spouse.
No. I already made a whole
Fallout
series of
Roni.
this, Caedo. Yes, I made Fallout Roni, but it was very important that you make it so Nate or Nora have died at that point. Because otherwise you're immediately getting rid of like everything players did in the past game and making it so, this is the one canon way it goes out.
Oh.
I think something else that Fallout does really well, and what I like about it, is that the choices you make can remain as the choices you make. The future games don't have to retcon them. And that's just a really good thing that I want them to keep doing. I don't want it to suddenly be like Fallout 5 and it turns out the Institute survived and they didn't get blown up and the railroad ending was canon.
Okay,
Or
how about
weird
how
like
about a
that.
Dr. Lee villain arc? How about she commits to something?
Is her villainous act her committing to something?
Yes.
I mean, I'm pretty sure can't she die in the game? So you can't bring her back. Is the way I look at it.
I mean, Sierra could die in the third game, and she came back anyway.
Yeah. See, that is an example of where they did it wrong. For the most part, they should not be doing that, you know? It should be, if a character can die, we can't bring them back.
Yeah.
Which is why McCready worked, because McCready, you couldn't kill him.
Yeah, because children are bulletproof.
So, yeah, so bringing him back in Fallout 4 doesn't suddenly retcon anyone's game. This is something I have strong feelings on, Caedo. You're not going to make me change my mind here.
I want a Dr. Lee villain arc so I can finally kill her, that's all.
Yeah. I mean... You can kill her, right? She's killable in 4.
She is.
Yeah.
Technically, yes.
Well, why don't you just have a permanent save file, like, right before you kill Dr. Lee in that game?
I do, Sarge.
Oh, okay, good.
Don't you worry about that. I spent a long time when I needed to get footage just shooting her a lot. But yeah, I want that as something that's more story important than...
You want a standalone game of hunting down Dr. Lee.
Yes. That's the Fallout spin-off that I want.
And what defines Fallout more than Caedo hunting down this one secondary character that nobody else ever talks about?
Yeah.
I have literally never seen anyone else bring her up in a Fallout discussion.
And isn't that strange that she had a magic card made after her when nobody talks about her? Like, she's not that interesting as a scientist character. Weird.
Yeah, she's not a particularly interesting character. She does have, like, main quest importance in 3 and 4, so I can understand them making a card around her. But yeah, she's not popular.
I think they...
Don't worry, Caedo. We're not here on the woo, go Dr. Lee train or anything.
If I were in charge, I don't want to be, if I were in charge of making a magic card of a scientist character, I would pick Dr. Lasco. Or Lesko.
Mm-hmm.
The mad scientist who made the fire-breathing ants, because he was wacky and interesting and definitely had some issues when it came to social cues, when it came to fixing his mistakes.
Yeah. And
blinded by his want to do more, but still wanting to make it right. Like he had... It seemed like he had a turnaround, whereas, I don't know, Dr. Lee never does, and it's annoying. I'm still mad about it.
You are.
I'm forever mad. What makes Fallout? Caedo being mad at Dr. Lee. That's...
Yep.
We're making that a... the key line of the subject. Let's move away from Dr. Lee. Sarge, save me.
Okay, I'm so sorry for putting us on that path somehow. Oh man, you've not really given me much of a jumping off point
Okay,
here.
well, so since we're talking about NPCs, how about dog?
There's always going to be... I mean, I refer to them as dog meat, even when they are just dog.
Yep.
But yeah, there will always be a dog meat. I like that. Although, man, it does bug me a bit how sometimes people are like, oh, this is the same character in every game. And it's like, no, it's not the same dog. It's not even the same breed of dog in every game.
No, it is not. The dog breed has changed at least 3 times.
Yeah. Some people get really kind of into that, being like, no, it's the same dog, obviously.
Dude,
yeah.
What if the setup in the show was them just breeding dog meats? Like, they were just all clones of...
Caedo, I've already seen so many posts about how the dog in the show must be dog meat from Fallout 4. Despite it not making any sense whatsoever.
Sorry.
There's so many people who are determined it is the case.
My fan theorizing is making it worse.
I'm all for having, like, fun little fan theories and stuff. I'm not all for when those theories are just, like, instantly proven wrong, and then people are like, nah, but I believe it anyway. No, this is not how we fan theory. We figure out stuff that could be true, or think about stuff that we'd like in the future, and as long as there's not anything to definitively say it can't be the case, then we can enjoy it. Otherwise, you're not allowed fun. You hear me?
No fun allowed.
Yeah.
Okay.
I what is there? Has there ever been like a confirmed significance over always having like a dog follower? Because I feel like in the first couple of games, it was just more of a, oh, and here's a dog we can throw in, and it didn't really feel like much.
It's more of Mad Max slash Boy and His Dog reference thing than anything. Is how it kind of started, I think.
Yeah.
I think that's how it started. Because like, I didn't know if you. I thought we already talked about this. Like in Fallout 1, if you approach dog meat in
In a leather jacket.
Junktown with a leather jacket, it'll just start following you just because you look like Max. So.
Yeah. I do remember you mentioning that, because I just assumed he went up to me because I'm lovely.
Yeah.
But it turns out I was just wearing the right outfit. Yep. Funnily enough, as we've been talking about dog meat, Scooby's been barking in the other room, so that may pick up as well.
I'm not hearing it on this end, so at least Discord's doing its job.
He's literally just barked again, as you said. You couldn't hear it, and it was louder than before.
Well, I may be editing your audio a little bit, but it's fine.
No, it's fine. People would like to hear Scooby.
Sure.
He has his own little cameo now.
Oh yeah, and tell Anna I got a message. Anna, thank you for the Scooby pics. She sent me so many.
Okay.
Yeah. Anyway, dogs. Was that it?
Dogs.
About dogs?
I can't think of anything else to say about dogs. Honestly, I don't think dogs are a key part of what makes Fallout Fallout. I do think it would be weird if we got a Fallout game without a dog follower of any kind. But I feel like it'd be one of those things that you wouldn't notice right away, and then someone makes a post being like, hey, isn't it weird how Fallout 5 is the only Fallout game where you don't have a dog following you around? And then it would get like 1 million upvotes on Reddit.
No, I think that would have more of a response than you're giving it credit. I think that is kind of an essential, a dog companion of some kind is kind of an essential component of Fallout now. 'Cause, man,
I mean, I'm happy to be proven wrong there.
Yeah. Well, I don't know if it's proof that you're wrong, but you can get dog companion in Fallout Brotherhood of Steel.
I was curious,
but you need a perk for
if there was a game where you don't have that. Okay.
He's stupid, but you can get one.
Oh.
Yeah. Because once you get to the vault where there's like laser walls, like he'll just wander into them and die instantly. But it's okay
maybe
though.
That's just a reference to Fallout 2 and
it
Fallout
might be.
1.
But it's fine because every time you hit a new area or load into a new zone, he'll respawn. So it's fine.
Oh. Yeah.
Which serves my cloning point. Somehow.
Oh. Yeah.
Even though it's another different breed of dog, I can't really tell. It's a little blobby dog model in Brotherhood of Steel.
Yeah.
So, I'm pretty sure you can get dogs in Fallout Tactics. I can't remember now. Fallout Tactics might be missing dogs.
I mean, Fallout Shelter definitely has them. 76, they're now adding on proper dog pets. But that was a bit late to the thing. And all of the mainline games definitely have them. New Vegas has Rex. Like, dogs are pretty consistent within Fallout.
They have...
I still don't think they're essential. But they're about as consistent as the Brotherhood of Steel showing up, which is saying something.
Yeah. They exist, but I don't know if they can be recruited in Fallout Tactics. It's not giving me much in the wiki. It's almost like not many people play Tactics.
Oh, what?
I know.
Crazy.
Yeah. Hey, more people should play Fallout Tactics. It's not the bad one. It's the okay one. I'm just going to put that out there.
Yeah.
Maybe I'll have some of that as B-roll.
Better than Brotherhood of Steel.
Oh, it's so much better than Brotherhood of Steel.
What more could you want?
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, we're going to be doing a ranking at some point, Caedo. Then we'll see how it goes. Because I have played some of Tactics, so I'll be able to input a little bit. Which means we can't just put it in S tier because you're the only one who's played it.
I wouldn't put it in S tier. That's a spoiler, though.
Ooh. Okay.
So no more dogs.
No more dogs. Are there any other consistent elements throughout, like, every Fallout game? I feel like a very minor one, and I don't know how often this shows up, but the 10mm pistol, that feels very iconic to Fallout for me now.
Yeah.
Because so often you start with a 10mm pistol. It's become like the default Fallout weapon. So much so that one of the reasons that when I did my one gun run, the thumbnail had a 10mm pistol in it. Because not only because I technically kind of use one, but because it's very much the Fallout weapon. Like, I know people argue over the different variations of assault rifle and how some of them look brilliant and terrible, and gun nuts talk for hours about that. But none of them really feel like a Fallout weapon so much so. And even stuff like the laser and plasma rifles, those are just sci-fi weapons. But a 10mm pistol feels like it's just a Fallout thing.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm inclined to agree.
I'm actually gonna... Do 10mm pistols exist in real life?
Yeah, I think so.
I've never heard of one in real life. Oh my god, I typed in do 10mm and it's immediately to 10mm pistols exist. I am clearly not the only one who's thought about this.
Yes.
Yeah.
A Glock is a 10mm pistol.
Oh. Oh man, that's interesting. Because you hear Glock all the time, but yeah.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Or should I say, to sound more smart, I should be like, Glock can take 10mm, and leave it at that, because I'm not knowledgeable in guns really in real life whatsoever.
I mean, I'm sure there'll be someone listening who's a gun nut. They seem to get very into the Fallout franchise. Like, I'm always seeing them comment. It would be nice to hear them talk about something other than the assault rifle for once, honestly. Because I swear that's all I ever hear getting talked about within the gun nuts of the Fallout community. Mm-hmm. I want to know about the pistols, not the assault rifles.
Yeah, well, now we know. I want to say the sniper rifle, only up until Fallout 4, its aesthetic kind of changed. Because its shape has always kind of been similar. I
mean, in Fallout 4 it got combined with the hunting rifle design.
Yeah, it had a like a caution tape color skin in the original the first two games, which was very recognizable and iconic. And then once we got Fallout 3, it just was, matte black or rusted black paint job. And then we got like multiple variations in Fallout New Vegas with modability as well. I want to say the Power Fist is also fairly iconic at this point, right?
Yeah, that's a pretty good one. Like, has the design stayed roughly the same throughout the games?
No. It's like not at all.
Okay.
Yeah. In the first two games, it's a spiked gauntlet. In Fallout 3, it's got a pneumatic hammer on the front of it. And in Fallout 4, its aesthetic became more of a framework kind of thing with the pneumatic thing on it.
That's a bit of a shame, because that feels like quite a Fallout weapon. Although it does also put me in mind of like a Warhammer 40k, because they have power fists, although they're very different aesthetically. So I was really hoping Fallout would have stuck with one kind of look for it.
Yeah,
something they have stuck with one look for, though, the Vault jumpsuits.
That's right.
Which immediately identifies a character.
That's
like just right away.
Very true. Like even though you're not a vault dweller in Fallout New Vegas, you still know the aesthetic.
Yeah.
Based on being given a vault suit as well as and also you're not a vault dweller in Fallout Tactics.
You're not a vault dweller in Fallout 2, are you?
Or Brotherhood of Steel. You're the descendant of the vault dweller in Fallout 2. That's a technicality.
Yes. Like, I feel like it may be the case that more than half the time you are not a vault dweller.
Yeah. It's in Fallout 2, it's by proxy because you're technically the great grandchild of the vault dweller.
But you do not dwell in a vault.
No. But you have
It's like
aspirations.
calling me a house owner. Like, I'm not a house owner just because people, like, my ancestors owned a house.
I saw a
at some
house
point.
one time. It got blown up.
Oh. Oh dear.
But yeah, you're right though. The vault suits, the vault boy's always there though, like as an indicator who's wearing the vault suit, even though it's not showing the blue and gold. So that, I think that still counts, right? Yes.
I'm not exactly sure what you were saying with that sentence. I thought it was going to go on.
Oh no, for being part of the aesthetic, kind of thing, or a recognizable aesthetic.
I mean, yeah, Vault Boy's like the mascot of the franchise. It ties into the UI and stuff.
Yeah, and he wears a vault suit, is what I'm driving at. So it's you not only have the vault suit itself, but you have a character that's wearing a vault suit, so you know that they're related.
You know what's weird? I was not picturing Vault Boy in the vault suit.
Oh.
I was picturing his Grognak incarnation.
Oh, there's only like
I don't know why my brain went
there's only
there.
like a couple of those.
Yeah, like he's not always in the vault suit, but yeah, typically he's in the vault suit.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's no idea why my brain was like that one was the default.
That's funny. Yeah, the vault suit does make Fallout.
Yeah.
Why don't we talk about unconventional weaponry or gear, things that are like crafted or thrown together, or something that is...
Oh, yeah. Well, I can talk about something that I want to become like a Fallout staple going forward and have a lot more thought and effort and just stuff put into it so that it can be used throughout the games, is pipe weaponry.
Yes.
I love pipe weaponry. It's something I just... I really wish it was better. Not exactly better. I don't think pipe weapons should be insanely strong. But I really want in the future for Fallout games to go with less of the pre-war weapons. I want pre-war weapons to start becoming rare, and it's become the norm for everyone to be having pipe weapons, and that's what you're generally using. Because I think it's a really cool aspect. It fits in with a post-apocalyptic ramshackle vibe, and they're fun and moddable and stuff. I love them. I love pipe weapons, but they suck.
Yeah. Yeah. And they give the opportunity, and oh man, the dart gun, not the dart gun, the syringer,
Syringer?
that was so underutilized.
Yeah, it'd be nice if that was
as a gimmicky weapon that's in the pipe weapon family.
Yeah.
And it was very sad when I learned its applications were kind of lame.
Yeah. I was able to just about make one build centered around it, and it was just objectively worse than using a regular gun.
Yeah. we want pipe weapons, like the degradation of older technology to like be felt, I guess, especially if the Brotherhood are like stronger than ever and like taking more of that technology to preserve.
Oh, that'd be really good.
Yeah.
Because see, the way I'm thinking about it doesn't fit in with what the franchise has done so far, which has made it so that old weapons are miraculously still in good condition, or sometimes even still being made. Like the gun runners are a big part of that.
Mm-hmm.
Just making sure there's new weapons of the pre-war variety being constructed. But I would absolutely love the next Fallout game to be like, yeah, the Brotherhood of Steel has really taken the whole keeping dangerous tech out of people's hands seriously, and therefore now there's barely any pre-war weapons hanging around the place.
Yeah, and if the show is any indicator of the rarity of fusion cores, then that could play into it as well. Just the Brotherhood itself hoarding the remaining ones, but there's still like so little left for them to take, and that adds an aspect of lethality to the game as well, which is, I think, is kind of cool.
Yeah. I feel like having an element of scarcity in the Fallout franchise is something that needs to kind of... I was going to say come back, but I feel like even the early games, it did kind of happen, I guess, but it feels like everything's somewhat scarce in the early games just because of the way they're designed, rather than an intentional choice as such.
Yeah, well, it has to do with the amount of items the games have too, because Bethesda Studios is a very stuff-oriented studio. Like it seems like they can't help themselves when it comes to just making items.
Yeah.
And stuff that you can pick up and look at.
I've just had a visual image of all the Starfield food items which are restore 2 hit points.
That are so useless. Oh my god.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was actually thinking that too. I didn't want to say anything.
I wanted to. I wanted to call them out. I mean, to be fair, this is something they do in their good games as well. Skyrim seriously has this problem.
Yes.
So many food items in Skyrim are terrible. I've been watching a small YouTube channel, Victoria Spongecake, give her a little shout out there. She's been playing through Skyrim for kind of the first time. She dabbled in it when it was first out by the sounds of it, but now has gone back. And she's doing the thing which apparently everyone does when they first play, which is just picking up food items as a healing stuff. And it's so inefficient. Food items are so bad in Skyrim. There's 4 or 5 actual good food items. And then the rest of it is restore 10 health is as good as it gets. And God, it's no, Bethesda. Make it so the consumables and all of the stuff we're picking up is actually useful, which they did to some element in Fallout 4 with the junk system.
Yeah.
Where they made it so all of this stuff suddenly does have use, which is brilliant. You just need to do it with all of their other junk they're throwing into the games.
Yep. Yeah. That's what I want. That's what I consider part of the aesthetic is the garbage and the ability to repurpose that garbage.
Yep.
That Fallout 4 introduced, because man, that is so needed. That falls into the
NPCs do it as well, because the most iconic looking location to me in terms of Fallout is a Megaton.
Yeah, which was inspired by Junktown, clearly. So
yeah, it's basically just Junktown if they made it look better.
Yeah. Put it in a crater with a bomb in the middle. Yeah,
you walk around it. Yeah,
look better, but less safe.
Well, yeah, it looks better in a. It looks better for the viewer, I suppose.
Yes.
The player. That's what they're called.
Your aesthetics, yeah.
Not for the inhabitants. Yeah. But yeah, I really hope Fallout does go in that direction.
Yeah.
Because it does sometimes feel like we're moving away from that. And God, going back to the Enclave and stuff, I feel like if the Enclave is reintroduced, because they're supposed to be kind of high tech and not a super wasteland themed faction, that would draw us even further away from the ramshackle junk nature of it all. Mm-hmm. Which is another reason I don't want the Enclave to return.
Yeah, well, some kind of big bad has to exist. I think that's one of the things I was going to bring up, what makes Fallout, and it's the something that reinforces the war never changes aspect.
Yeah.
Because usually there's some sort of collapse at the end of each Fallout game that kind of perpetuates the war never changes thing, which is why I believe it continues as a series, because that always happens. It's humanity is building itself up, hubris, and then they all implode again. So
I can't believe it took us this long to utter the phrase war never changes.
Yeah, that's true. Well, at least I did.
But you did, and you're 100% right as well. Because if this was just a franchise where everyone got along and built things up, at the point we are along the timeline, everything would be rebuilt to some degree. It wouldn't be the same as it was pre-war, but there'd be a fully functioning society. The actual government, I'm sure, would have come back in some way, but instead everyone's so self-interested and so tribalistic that they all just destroy each other over and over again. And with how big an element factions take in Fallout, be it in gameplay terms or in terms of the story, I do think tribalism is like a huge part of a franchise now.
Yeah. Aside from the, just that tribes exist in
there
some
are
capacity.
also literally
There's
tribes.
literal tribes. One of which was based on the original Vault Dweller.
Weirdly,
founded.
I feel like the tribes have less of a degree of tribalism than the more quote-unquote sophisticated factions. Like, we see in Honest Hearts that a lot of the tribes are willing to team up and kind of play nice with each other at points, and put differences aside. Whereas most factions, like Fallout 4 is a prime example of no, we can't live together. Where it's only if you go with the Minutemen that you don't have to go for like a almost full wipe of the dangerous factions. Like if you're siding with the Institute or the Railroad or the Brotherhood, they're just like, nope, we're gonna wipe out these people.
Yeah. I think, I don't know, the ones with the shiniest toys seem to want to blow each other up more.
Yeah.
Which, makes sense. You get more of an ego trip when you have powerful tech. I mean, have you seen the Pridwin?
Yes.
What do you think that represents? Firepower, obviously. Yep.
There's the whole point in the game about, it's going to be a short war. And then it's... I suppose it is technically a short war. Although now I'm wondering, like, what... Oh no, Nate/Nora are pre-war, so they're obviously familiar with wars. But I do wonder what people in the post-apocalypse consider war to be. Because it feels like every single Fallout game takes place over the course of a year tops. So it's always just like, there's this big threat and they're dead.
Oh, yeah.
It just happens so fast. Just huge, devastating conflict in such a short amount of time. And then it's over. And the next one starts.
Yeah. I mean, New Vegas did draw it out a little bit. Like, they set the stage before you show up as part of the thing. I think that's the only example we really have of, like, something, happening before you arrive. It's really.
Yeah. I feel like maybe the Enclave versus Brotherhood of Steel, because that happens in Fallout 2 and then goes on to Fallout 3. But that doesn't quite have the same feeling to it.
Not quite, because it's like it's still like different parts of those factions, not necessarily all of the factions aligning under that banner.
Yeah.
If that makes sense. Because Lion's Brotherhood has already like separated itself from the West Coast. And I mean, if Raven Rock is the hopefully only remaining Enclave remnants,
please,
then that's it. That's all there is. But other things can happen. Like, I don't know, maybe Dr. Lee becoming the new president of the Enclave, and then you get to kill her because she still can't understand her own identity in the games.
Just want to say now, anyone listening to this who is a big Enclave fan and wants them to return in a future game, please tell me in the comments, like, specifically why you want the Enclave to come back. Like, is there something I am just overlooking
here? The power armor's sick, bro.
We can still have the power armor. Hellfire armor still exists. It's in so many iterations now, and the Exo.
I'm sorry, that's just what the comments section was screaming at in my brain. So I had to say it. I also was perusing the subreddit before we started recording. Maybe that's why I had so much energy at the beginning, and now it's kind of tapering off.
Oh, Caedo, you're the one who needs to be driving this topic.
What?
This is your topic, Caedo.
No, it's our topic.
Oh no!
We're a faction, Sarge. We're the PIPCAST faction.
I mean, I actually already made a faction that you were a part of. It was Bad Company, the mercenary faction, and you were one of the people that I stealthily hid in one of the videos.
Oh.
Like, I hid 3 people I know/have known in the faction. Like, all the named characters were based on people.
That's awesome.
And yours was the only one that anyone might have been able to guess. Like, one of them was someone I knew in real life. No one was going to guess her. Another one was another YouTuber, but no one even knows their name and stuff, and there's no way to really link them. And then the other one liked punching, and it was like, yeah, someone will get this.
Did anyone get it?
Oh man, I'm going to actually have to check the video comments to see. Oh god, yeah. I'm going to send you the video. You're at like the 2-minute mark. And I made a Caedo, and no one brought it up. And all I have you do is punch the camera. Oh, that was fun.
Oh, I mean, it's my real name, which not many people know. So there is also that. But it is a punching character.
I mean, I gave all the 3 characters J starting names, which related to them in some way.
Okay.
But also did let me keep things somewhat vague. But yeah, it's someone punching, and punching, and punching, and it's got the same facial hair that you have on your icon. Yep. Yeah. Yep. Ta-da! How could no one guess that? What are you doing, comment section?
Here we go.
For anyone wondering, that is the video I made called Turning My YouTube Channel into a Fallout Faction, Fallout 5 Raiders of New York.
Roni!
Yeah.
If it turned into a real game, I would try to make that a thing.
Oh god, man. I wish it could turn into a real game. It'd be so cool.
We should get in touch with the Fallout London team. Be like, hey, got this banger of a plan.
Yep. Just go ahead and take it.
Because I still want to see your take on Fallout London.
I have had people asking me to play Fallout London. It's been requested on the Challenge Run channel as well by a couple of people. But isn't it the thing where you have to like revert Fallout 4 to an earlier state in order to play it?
If you have it on Steam, I did it the easy way.
Yeah, I have it on Steam.
I did it the easy way and got it cheap on GOG, and because GOG has its own standalone installer for it. So basically,
yeah, it's too much work for me.
It's not though. It's not.
It is. It seriously is. You're asking me to buy a new copy of Fallout 4 to then install like a mod to do that one mod playthrough.
I swear it's easier. I promise it's easy.
Okay, I will agree that it's probably easier doing it that way, but it's not easy. Like, I've just done my first bit of modding proper, where I've on the side channel with Dark Souls randomized, and I managed to get that done. That's like as complicated as I go.
No, what I'm saying is GOG has a standalone installer on GOG. Like, it's not even
okay. But
it's like installing a game.
Still have to buy a new copy of Fallout 4 just to play one mod one time.
Yeah, on sale it's $5.
I'm not spending $5.
It's a coffee.
I don't buy I can't afford coffee, Caedo. I don't think you understand how dire my finances are.
It's a 12-pack of Pepsi.
I buy ZX Cola, which is 49 pence. It's 49 pence for 2 litres, and I'm having to ration that out these days. Like, if my channel blows up in some way, then great. I can start messing around and spending coffee money. No, I put the Dark Souls build up, and none of the videos are doing well at the moment. It's just not going to be viable for a while.
Okay.
Maybe Avowed will get me 1 billion views. Who knows? But yeah,
we can both hope for that.
Can't do that stuff now.
Both pray for those 1 billion views of Avowed content.
It was you saying like, "Oh, what if Fallout 5 launched this year as well?" It's like, no, do not give me any false hope. I need to just accept that my channel's dead for a while.
No, I mean,
Elder Scrolls 6 is going to launch in like 5 years' time, and then my channel will start getting views again.
Yeah, and we won't be Elder Scrolls fatigued because it'll be a new one.
Yeah.
Then all over again, we'll look at the stump and be like, "Look at those ants."
Mm-hmm. Woo. There was actually a news article which I didn't add to be outlined, which is it's apparently been the same amount of time since Elder Scrolls 6 was announced as the time between Elder Scrolls 6 being announced and Skyrim being released.
Oh no.
Or something like that. Yeah. We're, it's been a real
Why are they giving us the math? Must be a slow news day.
Yeah, it's been so slow news.
It's such slow news that people are doing math.
I mean, it's not only slow news, it's also the obsession with gaming news sites to cover Elder Scrolls 6 when there is nothing to cover. Like, even now I'm pretty sure every week there's a new Elder Scrolls 6 article, which basically details that, yeah, we don't know what's going on, and that's about it.
Yeah. Man, I'm glad I don't write articles.
Mm-hmm.
I did my time. I was not great at it. I'm good at writing, but I don't like writing. As I've probably said a lot of times, actually. You know what I am good at, though? Talking about video games we've been playing. So, Sarge.
Yeah.
What have you been playing and or making on your channel? Even though we already kind of talked about it a little bit.
Yeah, I had already accidentally bumped into it. Well, I'll go through the content. On Bad Company Builds, I just released a Dark Souls build, so you can check that out if you want. On Bad Company Gaming, I've just started the Dark Souls randomized run, which I stole from Luke Westaway. I just was like, he did this, that seems fun, I'm gonna do it too.
Yeah.
And I've already recorded every single episode. Like, I am scheduled till the end of March with that series. But it's fun. It's items, enemies, and bosses all randomized. Which, in the first episode, goes fairly well for me. Like, I'm starting out with quite a strong weapon and facing enemies that aren't too crazy. In later episodes, it will go horribly for me. Like, there are some points where it's just so unfair and horrible. One of the episodes, I literally got drunk to record because I was so just done with it.
Did you do better?
It gets to me at points. It was kind of a case of I had to just keep going for this boss and just get lucky once. It was a case of I think I needed to hit the boss with like 5 power attacks and then I'd kill them. But it was a really fast boss in a terrible arena for that boss. So they'd just attack, hit me twice, I'd die. I'd attack, I'd miss, they'd hit me twice, I'd die. It was just kind of like eventually this'll go through, I'll just not be wedged in the wrong place. It really was just, I'll keep doing it until it works. And that's how I had to do it. Hence the alcohol. So I was like, well, I'm gonna get drunk if I'm doing it this way.
Well, I'm looking forward to seeing some of it.
Yeah.
I can't promise I'll watch the whole thing, but I will check a little bit of it out. Because I am intrigued by randomizer runs. As you may have recalled, I did a somewhat randomized playthrough of Fallout 3.
Is it the special roulette you're on about?
Yeah, but that was just related to level ups and my build being garbage by the end.
Yeah.
And also
random
decisions,
bosses, I think.
which is fun.
Yeah. Random bosses, I think, is the most interesting part of a randomizer run for me. Because it means sometimes you're facing just, like, insanely difficult odds. Other times, what would be a challenge is suddenly being made super easy. And it's quite fun to see who shows up. Especially because Dark Souls does a cinematic sometimes for the bosses appearing, but they use the in-game model rather than, like, a pre-rendered video. So there's some real stretching going on at points. And it looks horrifying, and it's a game of me trying to work out what boss it is when I can just see, like, one pixel that's been stretched to fit the entire screen.
That's funny.
Although, there is exactly one boss fight where it works out really well, and the models just happen to fit, despite them being just different species entirely. And yet the models line up in a way that looks really cool. That's all coming in the future, though. What I've been doing on the main channel is I made a couple of the games in 2025 videos. Had to remember what the year was. I did... Caedo's also just commented on that video pointing out that it's him. I've just seen that now. I did my Elden Ring in 2025 video, because Caedo very kindly bought me a copy.
Yeah.
And I'm now 60 hours into that game.
I can tell you're enjoying it because you were playing it right up until recording time, and that's usually something I'm doing.
Yeah. I've been playing so much of it. Like a ridiculous... Technically, I'm not trying to 100% the game, but I am trying to 100% the game. It's just like, I want to go everywhere, I want to experience everything. And there's not been many times where I've been like, oh, screw this. I was going to make a whole video comparing like Dark Souls to Elden Ring and those games and why I didn't like some parts and why I didn't like others. But I'll briefly go over it here. The thing I like most about Elden Ring is that if you get to a section where you're stuck or where you're just not having fun, you can go somewhere else.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it's really good on the openness of still letting you progress without having to stick in a certain location. And while there's definitely, like, advised routes, and if you, like, go up against... You're supposed to defeat, like, 2 shard bearers, and then you can progress the story. So those are 2 specific bosses out of a list of, I think, 5, maybe 6 bosses? And, like, certain ones you should be fighting first, because they're easier than others. But you could go and fight, Starscourge Radahan as your first shard bearer, and that's a really challenging fight. But if you're not enjoying the Godric the Grafted fight, then it's also a very different one. So even though it's harder, you might have a better time with it and might enjoy it more. And the game just lets you go and do that. Although actually I'm not sure if it does let you do that. I think it lets you do that. Probably. But regardless, when I've got to points where I've just not been having a ton of fun with like a specific area, I can then just go somewhere else and do a different thing, like do an NPC quest line. Like, I actually just left Volcano Manor to go to the capital, because in Volcano Manor I was fighting this one enemy type who I hate. It's terrible. It's the first enemy where I've been like, this is unfair, because it does a move where it, like, picks you up and puts you inside of it.
Ah.
This is really bad without the visuals, and then just, like, chomps down on you, and then spits you out, and then immediately grabs you again and puts you inside and chomps you up. And that's not fun for me.
Yeah.
I don't like being eaten. Add that to your lore about Sarge.
That's usually... I would say that's most people's approaches when they're playing a video game, is not liking to be eaten.
Yeah, but I got annoyed just coming up against that enemy who could, like, take me down each time potentially, and... because there's a few of them I have to get past as well, it's one of those cases where, like, oh, even if I make it past the first one, the second one might still just manage to get me. So that wasn't a lot of fun, so I've gone to a different place and have been exploring there instead, and had a lot of fun with it, and yeah, it's something I really like about Elden Ring, and it's also, I think, the main reason I didn't enjoy Dark Souls 3, because Dark Souls 3 is very kind of linear. You don't have the option to go off somewhere else if you want to keep progressing. You just keep pushing forward. There's like, I think there's literally 2 side locations you can go to. One is available early to mid-game, one is available late game. Besides that, you're just walking a pretty straight and narrow path, where at most you get like a binary choice between which boss you go after first. So yeah, the open worldness of Elden Ring has made it a lot of fun. I have 60 hours currently. I've got 16 of the achievements, including some of the slightly more rare ones. I think, like, defeating the Regal Ancestor Spirit, only 38% of players have done that, which I think is my rarest one so far, which is kind of cool.
Yeah.
And someone else also happened to get Elden Ring at the same time as me, so I've seen their achievements on Steam popping up as well.
Oh, cool.
Which, yeah, is kind of nice. Especially seeing me, like, I have clearly taken a different path, because they're getting, like, I'm getting more achievements than them, but they're sometimes getting achievements before me that I then unlock, like, a week later or something, because I took this different route, which is quite cool to see. It's really good. Yeah, had a lot of fun with Elden Ring, and basically the only game I've taken a break from Elden Ring to play as something else has been Kingdoms of Amalur Re-Reckoning.
Yeah!
Yeah, because I made a video on that as well, that game in 2025, where I also put a lot more time into making the video. So hopefully that comes across and makes more people watch it.
Yeah?
fingers crossed. A large part of why I made it as well as the Amala in 2024 video was my most consistently viewed video last year. Like, it was almost hitting 100 views every single day. And I think from the time it was uploaded, there was not a single second that has gone by where someone isn't watching it.
If I bought you Death Stranding, would you do a Death Stranding in 2025?
Oh, I don't want to, Caedo. I don't want to.
I was just asking.
Like,
just asking because Death Stranding is that game for me.
I'm...
That's like the consistency and views thing. Like, it's the Death Stranding videos, which is weird.
Yeah, I'm not sure if I'm going to be making more of the Games in 2025 series. Like, the Games in 2024, I did a fair few of them, and a few of them did particularly well. A couple of them did well over time, but I'm not really feeling it at the moment.
But they had a shelf life, so
yeah. It's also a case of the channel isn't doing well at the moment, so I'm in that kind of funk where I'm like, I don't want to be making videos. You know, when it's like, oh, the analytics are down. You know the feeling.
Oh, yeah. Oh, you know it.
I've actually been writing a book instead, because my brain does not shut off for creativity. It just directs it in different locations depending on how things are going and what's working out.
My brain's just like, no, good chemicals, please.
Yeah, my brain's the biggest workaholic I know. It always needs to be doing something, which is great if it could focus on one thing at a time. I have like 50 projects probably going right now in my brain, and that is not me exaggerating the number. That is just because there is so much stuff I want to make. I've got like a dozen or so TTRPG systems going around in my brain for different games. It's a nightmare. It never ends, Caedo. It never ends. Why is my brain not quieter? I don't get it.
Have you seen a psychologist?
No. No, I've not.
Okay.
I've got enough voices I'm listening to in my head. I don't need voices on the outside as well.
I'm not doing a bit here.
But I want to do a bit.
Okay. I will play along then.
But yeah, that's what I've been doing, which I think ended up with me saying literally everything. Which is weird, because I've only got 2 things written down.
Yeah.
But it's fine, because Caedo has... I'm not sure if that's 1 or 2 things written down.
There's one thing.
So, it is one thing. What is that one thing, Caedo?
I mentioned it a little bit last episode, but I've been if you forgive the joke, bitten by the Project Zomboid bug.
Oh no.
Yeah, that
I'll get the shotgun.
was pretty bad. But the Project Zomboid Build 42 is really freaking fun. Project Zomboid is another one of my comfort games. I know it's weird when I say that, probably for some people, but it's kind of like, once you get to a certain point, it's kind of like The Sims but with zombies in it, if that makes sense. But you only control one sim.
Sorry, I meant
Yeah, right. But you only control one sim who is very needy a lot of the time and also gets bored really easily, and also sometimes loses his glasses and trips on stuff, and also steps on glass when he's trying to go to bed. And also gets bitten in 3 different parts of his body by zombies and almost dies, but then you have to take some antibiotics and then make sure you're changing the bandages and also cooking fresh meals with things that are calorically dense so you can actually heal at a normal rate, and maybe also in the process of trying to get materials, setting them all on fire.
That's so much.
So that's the in a nutshell of what's been going on with me in Project Zomboid.
This is a comfort game?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, in between those things, I actually did end up, trying out the new fishing system and, having chickens on my property, which is really nice. So.
Yeah. No, I do get it.
Yeah.
I have been treating Elden Ring as a bit of a comfort game
so
as well.
you know.
I understand. It's like, sure, this is a horrifying world and terrible things going on, but you can do fishing or ride a horsey around.
But Tree very pretty.
Like, well, we got this... Yeah, Tree's so pretty. God, I've got really nice Elden Ring wallpapers coming up in the future.
I bet.
Yeah,
That's what I was looking forward to as well.
I'm gonna send you one right now.
Oh, I can't wait. Yeah, so my mall adventure was actually pretty entertaining because Louisville is the biggest area on the Kentucky map of Project Zomboid. It's freaking huge. Like, I've explored a tiny portion of the outskirts of Louisville. But that tiny portion includes a movie theater and a mall, which I haven't fully been able to enter yet because the power got cut like a couple of months prior. So if I go in the mall, all I can use to light the way is the biggest flashlight I could find. So I've been or what I've been doing today is using a sledgehammer I found to bash open the walls big enough to fit my truck inside so I can use its headlights.
Okay, I do love that you can do
yes.
that. That's very cool.
But in order to clear the majority of the zombies beforehand, I actually set up a little campfire in the parking lot because there were zombies everywhere, including like inside the mall itself. Think like Dead Rising amounts. And after they finally broke through the doors, I used my car's horn to like get as many as I could grouped up, and then I lit the campfire, and then I just sort of pulled the zombies around over the campfire, and of course the fire spreads to other zombies when you herd them together. So now outside of the mall is just a bunch of piles of ash of the zombies that I ended up herding just around, because it takes a while too, but I herded them around the outside of the mall and burned them all that way. But unfortunately I did burn a corner of the mall in the process because I got a little too close and one of the zombies kind of jumped inside for a second and then caught the zombies inside on fire, and then the wall caught. But fortunately that was like just a waiting area in the front of the mall, so nothing really was lost and the payphones are still there. I'm not going to call anybody, obviously. I'm just going to break them down for
I was
electronic components.
Like, when you sounded excited about payphones existing in the zombie apocalypse.
They added even more skills, but there's skills for just about everything that apply to almost everything you can see in the game. So anything that you consider electronic, including like towel dispensers and stuff like that, you can break down to up your electrical skill and also get electronic components to make homemade stuff. And like there's they added carving, butchering, farming got upgraded, the animal, not animal husbandry, but it's that kind of skill, which allowed me to have my chickens and stuff like that, or that's built off of like having livestock like chickens. There's pottery. I haven't even touched pottery and glass making, and like they completely overhauled the crafting system and made more of it. But one part you'll probably enjoy is that there's also makeshift weaponry, that like more so
that makes more sense.
Like when you're using say like a half damaged sledgehammer, which was the first sledgehammer I found. I broke down a couple walls with it, and then it broke in half. The head broke off, and then the handle like broke in half. And you can keep both parts and actually, put the head on another handle now with the new system. So you can get more life out of parts of the weapons that you break, which is really cool. And also a Fallout, like, I don't know if this was added in 42 or was in 41, but you can repair guns with other guns, like Fallout.
Jury rigging,
yeah, which is really nice. So yeah, there's just a lot of it's like the heaviest simulation game I've ever played, but like it all feels good. It like even if my character's on the verge of death, it still feels good to play for some reason. But I did turn off, like with the sandbox like you can alter like everything when it comes to difficulty, everything. But I turned off zombie infection like way back because like if you're gonna die, you're gonna die kind of thing, and I don't like prolonging the inevitable, because like your character gets very, very sick and then they die from the infection unless you just drink a bottle of bleach. So
this game is real bad on the translating over to real world advice sort of thing.
It's got, I mean, it's a simulation game, so
Oh.
if your character wants to finish themselves off because they got bit by a zombie, they have the means. That's all I'm saying. You could also just step in a campfire.
Yeah.
That's a lengthier, more painful way to go, but you know.
Not the way I choose.
Anyway, definitely just talking about killing my character in a video game with my friend Sarge. Because it's a zombie game and it's a lot of fun, and exploring a mall that has all kinds of goodies in it is fun to talk about. But that's the game thing I've been doing. The project thing I've been doing is
Perfect.
Recording commentary for another magazine's guide.
Okay.
What I'm gonna do this time though is, like, now that I messaged it to Sarge and it sounded like he was proud of me, which felt very nice. But what I'm going to do is record the voiceover of the rest of them before I get into the editing process, because I think I'm going to skip I'm probably still going to make them separately, but I'm going to once I've made all of them, just move them over to the big version of it, like the big compilation of all of the magazine's guides, because I have a lot of changes that are just sitting in my spreadsheet notes to go into the big version of it. And I still don't.
How many of these Starfield magazine guides have you got left?
4.
Okay, that's not a crazy amount.
So it's 20 entries, but the voice work is already done for 5 of them, so 15 technically. Because after the voiceover, like, the rest of it is very easy. Like, I have all the footage of everything, and I also have, I think I have all the magazine assets too. Like, I did all that already because it doesn't require my voice. I think I did the thumbnails too. I might have done the thumbnails already. Excellent. Too. So it was just mainly the voice work that was keeping me finishing it.
Mm-hmm. But hey, you'll have them done by like the end of March.
Yeah, right, just in time for a music album that I'm looking forward to.
Hey, and that'll be your reward for getting the work done.
Yeah. It's actually the day after my birthday that Memphis Mayfire's new album comes out. So I'm gonna treat myself with that. But yeah, I still like the aesthetic of these thumbnails.
Yeah, Caedo has sent me one, and it's a good looking thumbnail.
Because I used the Starfield flag for the border. Mm-hmm. It looks nice. I think it looks nice.
Yeah.
But yeah, I also have the Space Death Claw that we argued about.
Excellent. I've got that saved as well. Both versions.
Same. I still like the rocket one.
I still prefer the, I don't know how to describe it, space helmety one. But...
Man, I wish Terramorphs were more. That's the end of the thought, I think.
Yeah. We've talked enough about Starfield, by which I mean we've said Starfield 3 times now.
This horse is very dead. We have beaten it into a puddle of horse.
Gross.
And now it's time to say goodbye. Otherwise, I'm going to get weirdly morbid again. So,
yep.
I hope you all have a wonderful next couple of weeks, and then we'll have another PIPCAST 3000 where we'll probably have more to talk about the Xbox Showcase thing, and maybe have another topic, and maybe doing that ranking list that was suggested. Maybe, I don't know. Maybe. But
I may well be putting that together.
Until then, Every other Sunday, 10 a.m. Pacific is when you can catch the PIPCAST 3000 on YouTube and Spotify. Be safe. Bye-bye.